And welcome back to Forbes Sports Money. Sports consultant Mark Annis is with us as we continue our state of sports discussion. The NFL wants to leverage a great situation in the city of Los Angeles. They've been embarked for a long time without an NFL team. The push is back to get a team in there. What's the latest? Is this going to happen in the short term or the long term?
The likelier scenario is that we will see a team or two that will be approved to relocate in Los Angeles this offseason. Right now, there are two plans that are out there. For the first time since 1995, when you had two teams in L.A., and by the way, I worked on moving both of those teams out of Los Angeles successfully. For the first time, you've got two viable plans for stadiums with team owners that want to move their teams to the L.A. market. That's a sea change. That has changed the entire landscape of the situation. So you've got Stan Kroenke, who owns the St. Louis Rams, who would like to move the Rams back to Los Angeles to a mega stadium in Inglewood, and you've got the Chargers and the Raiders who want to share a stadium in Carson, California. Which both are just south of L.A. proper.
And if you're looking at this, and you're the league, right,
yep.
and they have this special committee, right, which has some huge names on it.
The Los Angeles Opportunities Committee, the 6 members, arguably the most powerful committee that has ever been put together in the NFL.
So these guys are looking at it, and I say based on who those names are, that what they decide is going to happen, heavy hitters, right? So if they're looking at this, what are the quick pros and cons of either the Chargers and the Raiders moving the stadium in Carson, or Kroenke going to Inglewood?
The single most important factor is which solution is likely to lead to the greatest success for the National Football League in its reintroduction back into Los Angeles. That is by far the most important factor. Now, is that an incredibly wealthy individual who wants to build a mega stadium, basically the Cowboys type stadium on steroids in Inglewood? That's Stan with one team with the Rams there. That's an option that's on the table. Or is that two teams that have this California problem, as it's been described, where they've had two stadiums, two very bad situations in California, and with one deal, you solve two intractable problems, and you bring them both together, and you also have two teams to offset the cost of the stadium there. So those are other factors, and then of course you've got the issues of the Spanos family has been very, very strong partners in the league for many, many years, and there's a very, very strong positive feeling towards them, and about a quarter of their market comes from L.A. right now. And would they not be really hurt if they were not one of the teams to move up there? So there are a host of factors like that. And then who's going to operate best?
Well, and I look at it, too, like, does it have to be two teams? Can one team make it in Los Angeles?
Well, that's another operative
factor.
Better
not two teams. Better not. I don't care.
We've talked about it. It almost seems like they'd have to market against each other in a way.
One team. I don't care whether it's Carson or Inglewood. It should be one team. I realize that you're not going to potentially get as much from PSLs, but you know what? Two teams in Carson. I think that's too complicated coming into one market like that where they haven't been in. I think it's one team, and maybe it comes down to this, guys. Maybe it comes down to if you're really focusing on the operator. In other words, you want a guy who's going to get off the right off the bat, kick it off with a winning team, have a good product year after year. You go with Spanos and Carson. But if you're looking for the guy with the most money, who's going to give you the biggest Hollywood feel in sort of this video reality age of the NFL, then you go with Kroenke and Inglewood. Maybe that's the decision. I don't know where Mark Davis sits in all this. I don't know if the NFL knows where Mark Davis sits in all this.
Well, he's coupled with Spanos right now, but is there a chance that changes somewhere down the line, that it is just the Chargers and he's separated from the Raiders?
Well, they've said that they're together in lockstep. What I can't say is I would expect this thing's got a lot of twists and turns to go before final decisions are made. It's important that they've gotten where they've gotten to here. The idea that they have two viable projects after 25 years of not having any is a tremendous advance for the NFL. So they're in much better shape than they ever have been.
My final question, is there any certainty a new team going into L.A. will even work? Do they need one there? I mean, the NFL has grown by leaps and bounds without a team there for 25 years.
Bob, that is one of the most important points here that sometimes gets lost. Would the NFL like to have a team in L.A.? Absolutely. Would L.A. like to have a team? Absolutely. Do either of them need each other? No. LA's done just fine without the NFL, and the NFL has done spectacularly well without having a team in LA. The NFL is in a wonderful position because they have lots of options, not just in LA.
All right, Mark, always appreciate the insight and keeping Ozanian in check on the show. Thank you.